Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a great and wonderful day. And as I shall say, the great and mighty Donald Trump has made a comeback. It seems just a little bit of the mugshot has backfired massively against these communists in every way, fashion, shape, and form. Now we're going to show you a video of essentially people being very happy for Donald Trump and all this other stuff because they're actually voting for him. There's one thing the Democrats might have done, or indirectly have done. They have united the country in the sense of blacks and whites are all now voting for Trump and now are all going to and are now supporting him. I think when you put a mugshot on somebody like that and you're doing that crazy stuff, I think it had a major just awakening for everybody. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It ain't looking too good for you guys.
Trump deserved that black card. He deserved that black card now. First it was the Russian interference. Then he got impeached twice. Then y'all want to mess with his taxes. Then y'all raided Mar-a-Lago. Now this? He got indicted? And Trump got a target on his back just like a black man. Y'all keep messing with him. Hey Trump, go ahead and wipe that white paint out your face, man. You black now. You good in the hood. As far as I know, Trump is black. He pardoned Kodak Black. He blacker than Obama. See, I remember Bush Sr. All he gave was war and prison time. Clinton, he told everybody he smoked weed, played the saxophone. Bush Jr., 9/11, war. Obama, more prison and a new gender. Trump, money, money, money. Biden, war, recession. The last time I voted Democrat was in '08, and he betrayed us. But now, 18 more months from now, hey Trump, you got my vote.
Trying to get people's thoughts on the Donald Trump mugshot. What are your thoughts?
Hey, fuck Joe Biden.
Fuck the Democrats.
Well, he's a dog.
He's a dog.
You gotta let him out of the cage for once, for real.
That mugshot is fire as fuck. Hey, his policies that he's gonna run on, fire.
Facts.
His everything that he's gonna run on, fire. That mugshot, fire. His
Facts.
golf game, fire.
Facts. Hey, Joe can't play golf.
He's a dog. Joe can't play golf. Joe can't.
He can't do anything.
He can't even stand up straight.
That's my president. Donald Trump, look, he's not a great person, but president-wise, that was a good president.
You think he should be free?
Free him.
Facts. You voting for him?
Free Donald Trump. I'm voting for Donald Trump.
He
freed Kodak, so someone's got to free him.
First black president, for real.
Yeah.
I think the division is starting to close ever so slightly, ever so slowly. And I think where we're going with this is like specifically with like the whole temple thing where this is breaking down. I can see where the breakdowns are happening, right? Where our society is not being upheld to the highest regard. But I also see this. Honestly, the Trump arrest might have been the greatest thing that happened to America. Mostly due to the fact, or the mugshot rather, mostly due to the fact that because it seems to be bringing people together. It seems to be keep bringing people to fight against the authoritarians that seem to may be. And we have this as well, that the Trump presidential campaign confirmed to Fox News on Saturday that they have pulled in nearly $20 million in fundraising over the last 3 weeks, which coincides with a federal indictment in Washington, D.C. and mugshot from Atlanta seen around the world. Former President Trump's camp said of the almost 20 million, 7.1 million was collected after his mugshot was taken in Atlanta on Thursday evening. Trump's team said they raked in 4.8 million on Friday, which was the highest grossing day of the entire campaign. The campaign added they expect to cross the 20 million mark in fundraising in a few days. Organic money has skyrocketed, especially after President Trump tweeted out the picture along with the website, the campaign told Fox News. The spike in fundraising also appears to be fueled in part by merchandise that have been selling through their online store. Yeah, so again, this is not something that's going very well for the Democrats, or I would say the communists at this point. And it seems to be backfiring. Now, these news people are talking about how they want to disqualify Trump through the 14th Amendment because they have to find every single way possible, any way possible to disqualify Trump or remove him from becoming a president. Because if all of this fails, and obviously they're going to have to go to we're going to try to disqualify him because they really just don't want this man coming for their necks, because that's what he will do. He will come for their necks. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here's the clip.
Asa Hutchinson, who will join me in a bit, he says that Donald Trump might be disqualified from holding office based on the 14th Amendment, which says that U.S. officials who engage in insurrection or rebellion or aid and comfort them cannot hold office again. You were not only an impeachment manager in the January 6th impeachment of Donald Trump, you were a constitutional scholar. So do you agree with Asa Hutchinson on this?
Well, absolutely, and we've been saying all along that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment presents a clear and unequivocal statement that anyone who has sworn an oath of office, and by the way, not just a president, but members of Congress and others who hold federal office, who engage in insurrection or rebellion, having sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic, can never serve again in federal or state office. And this was added after the Civil War as a general constitutional principle, and we have to abide by it. Donald Trump was impeached by the House of Representatives for inciting an insurrection against the Union, and then 57 of 100 senators determined as a constitutional fact that Donald Trump had incited an insurrection. So I think you've got robust bicameral, bipartisan majorities that have already established this as a fact. And I agree with the conservative Federalist Society law professors who are out there saying, as well as Mr. Hutchinson, that Donald Trump is disqualified just as if he were running and not a born U.S. citizen, or if he were running and he were 24 years old.
Former President Donald Trump is facing a growing list of legal challenges, and now election advocates say a constitutional amendment shows that he shouldn't be allowed to run for office.
I believe in the Constitution.
Politics can be messy, but before party or any one candidate comes one thing for lawyer and former U.S. Senate candidate Corky Messner, and that's loyalty to the U.S. Constitution.
I took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, domestic and foreign.
It's that devotion that sparked Messner to join a choir of election advocates who say former President Donald Trump may be ineligible to run for office because of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which states that a public official can't hold office if they were involved in an insurrection. Some argue that Trump's alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election prove that.
I think we need to make sure that he is in fact qualified.
Messner, who was endorsed by Trump when he ran for office in 2020, is bringing in a New Hampshire-based lawyer and financing the legal challenge himself. On Friday, he met with Secretary of State David Scanlon, who's now figuring out if there's an argument to move forward.
When somebody makes a reasoned argument about what those provisions mean, I feel an obligation to at least listen to them.
He says a decision like this should be made on facts and not politics.
A decision of deciding that somebody is not qualified to run for president is extraordinary, and it really has to be treated with that degree of importance.
And the filing period for the primary is quickly approaching. So Secretary Scanlon says he'll be having those conversations with the Attorney General's office to see how this can move forward. In Concord, Ariel Metropolis, WMUR News 9.
So yes, they're trying to find some kind of way to disqualify him, or that's in the talks. And it's almost like everything that they've been doing in the past 2-3 years is to find some kind of malicious or horrible way to disqualify Trump. And they only started doing this when he was announced to become president. That's pretty much it. He was announced he was going to become president. When it was officially done, I may believe, in 2022. And that's when all this BS and crazy stuff started happening. It's quite obvious. And the point of the matter is that these people are garbage. And that's just the way they're going to be. However, we have some other unfortunate news, because apparently Jim Acosta is seething or coping, whichever you want to say, is not taking this very well, to where he thinks that the mugshot for Trump is supposed to be bad. Little did he know that it united the people of this country rather than diversify. Because I understand that diversity is kind of a huge thing, and you want to make sure that everybody is separated and not united. So you're coping that hope that that will keep dividing this country when in fact it just united it.
Political commentator and host of PBS Firing Line, Margaret Hoover, and John Avlon, and senior political analyst here at CNN, and the author of Lincoln and the Fight for Peace. Margaret, having your mugshot taken is supposed to be a bad thing, right?
Depends who you ask, doesn't it? Look, it is definitively a bad thing, Jim. That's sorry to be cheeky about it, but sometimes we just have to do that to make ourselves feel better at night. The truth is, it depends who you ask. If you're a self-identified MAGA Republican primary voter in a red state, you're more likely to give money to Donald Trump when you see that mugshot because you feel that he is your guy and he is being vilified by the system, by a politicized Department of Justice and the like. If you are a Democrat who primaries in the Republican primary in New Hampshire, you're probably more likely to primary for a Republican who's not Donald Trump and help prevent Donald Trump from getting the Republican nomination.
Or an independent.
Or an independent, right? The point is, Jim, it depends where you are. Does this help if you're Donald Trump in a closed Republican primary? It helps him. But if you're Donald Trump in an open primary, New Hampshire, it doesn't help him.
That is a good point. And John, I mean, Trump can brag all he wants about his poll numbers in the GOP and his fundraising numbers. This is not going to help at all in a general election. How does a mugshot ever help in a general election?
I don't think there's any case of it doing so, but it helps to remind ourselves of that. Look, obviously this is a primary season, but it's about winning a general election. And Donald Trump's poll numbers are already in the cellar among independent voters. I mean, 2/3 of them say they don't want to see him be elected president. So when Nikki Haley, I think, stood out in the last presidential debate by saying that we got to face the fact that Donald Trump's one of the least popular politicians in America, she's right when it comes to the overall American electorate. But the problem, again, is polarization. It's hyperpartisanship. It's negative partisanship. So there was an interesting article in The Atlantic showing that these polls might be slightly overstating how much he benefits. So a lot of Republicans want to kick back at people who criticize Donald Trump. But do they really think it makes him a better general election candidate? I got my doubts.
Yeah.
So yes, it seems that all of the three of them are really coping and having a meltdown over how much money Trump has been making in the past few days. So yeah, it seems that they're just not very happy about it. Listen, maybe we should recap a tiny little bit, just a little bit of some of the people being happy that, are voting for Trump over this mugshot and stuff like that. Uniting people, both of white and black.
Trying to get people's thoughts on the Donald Trump mugshot. What are your thoughts?
Hey, fuck Joe Biden. Fuck the Democrats.
Well, he's a dog.
He's a dog.
You gotta let him out of the cage for once, for real.
That mugshot is fire as fuck. Hey, his policies that he's gonna run on, fire.
Facts.
Everything that he's gonna run on, fire. That mugshot, fire. His golf game, fire.
Facts. Hey, Joe can't play golf.
He's a dog. Joe can't play golf. Joe can't.
He can't do anything.
He can't even stand up straight.
That's my president, Donald Trump. Look, he's not a great person, but president-wise, that was a good president.
You think he should be free?
Free him.
Facts. You voting for him?
Free Donald Trump. I'm voting for Donald Trump.
He freed Kodak, so someone's got to free him. First black president, for real. Yeah.
So what I see here is not a group of people that's been divided but united. But I could be wrong here, guys. I could be wrong that the division did some separation. Or maybe, let's just check one more time of maybe the people that was coming in from Atlanta, they were not cheering. So we'll double check on that.
Y'all see it, man. Which one are you in, though? Donald Trump. I'm talking about they got everybody. Look at that fucked up.
Oh, My apologies. Oh, it seems like they're mostly cheering and raving for him and wanting, saying "Free Trump." That's a little weird. That's been going on. Is what was? Let me look up there. Oh, it's a bunch of black people. Weird. It's like almost like it united the people rather than divide. But sure, keep on being with your cope, your divisiveness, and we'll stay over here. We're trying to hope that our country doesn't stay divided but united, and you continue trying to bring down the country and your divisiveness. Alright guys, that's the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.